Good morning and welcome everyone to Friday Morning Arcade. We are your hosts, Nick Ryan,
and Canton Roberts.
and today, as you guys can see, we are missing one other person, Mr. Brady Keith. So, Canton, I know that you're kind of, you're starting to recover from your tuberculosis, and unfortunately, we know the type of abuse that Brady gives us per week.
Yep.
Per week. I mean, if OSHA would have seen the amount of stuff that he's done to us, this whole operation would have went down the drain.
Yeah.
So because of that, this whole episode, we're not going to be covering a game, actually. We're just going to be covering our grievances for Brady. And this is our public declaration that we are ready to unionize.
Yes.
So I'll start off here. No, anyways, welcome everyone. But yes, as you guys can see, Brady has now caught tuberculosis as well, so he's recovering from that.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yes. But yeah, anyways, so today we are going to be covering the first Dishonored, which is originally published and developed by THQ, ArcSys, Arcane, and published by Bethesda.
Yes.
Which a couple weeks ago we were talking about wanting to do a Fallout video, but unfortunately I don't really think that we can help Brady on it.
He hasn't played Fallout?
He hasn't. The only Fallout he's played is
Shelter.
Shelter.
Ooh.
What can I say? Well, we're sitting here being real men, playing our Dishonored, playing our Animal Crossing. He's there playing Fallout Shelter and WWE Supercard, and Final Fantasy Tactics, I think, is the other one called.
Is that the one with Cloud in it?
Yeah, I think so. It's a mobile game. And also Raid Shadow Legends, but anyways.
See, we're real men. We play Hello Kitty Adventure Island.
Yeah. I can feel the testosterone. Okay, anyways, but yeah, so I want to pass it off over here to my friend Canton to kind of start us off.
So, Dishonored. I know that you are a graphics guy. I personally love these types of graphics, very cartoonish. I like it when games delve into that creative side. And as much as I love a game like Red Dead, seeing like Ultra 4K, greatest graphics of all time, better than real life, can get kind of boring. So I want to know kind of your opinion on the graphics of Dishonored 1.
So, yeah, there's really two big things whenever I think about the way that Arcane approached Dishonored. First was its setting, its kind of aesthetic. The combination of what felt like the Dark Ages almost, with also that really weird combination of like steampunk, like late 1800s, but also like it feels like this is just like a full-on like wasteland, like all civilization is fallen.
The like Victorian era architecture and like buildings.
Yes, and the art style is one of the best. I mean, there's a character named Havelock, and seeing this man's hands, and I was like, oh my gosh, imagine, I mean, he could probably like put just his finger inside a Pringles can. I mean, it's insane. It's very cartoony, but in a way that like it's not like there's another game that kind of resembled this, Prey. Prey was another one, Prey 2017, that kind of had that similar setting, but Prey really relied on like your realistic looking art style. Mainly it was about assets and the way that shadows worked. Within this game, you really felt like, oh wow, this is like real, right? Like you're immersed in this, but it's fun almost. Like it's a very fun. It's like kind of like going to like a carnival and like getting a caricature of yourself, and it's like all of these different features that you see within yourself kind of expanded out into like 100, and Dishonored kind of does that same thing, and the coloring too. I know that we kind of have a blue, but the colors in this game. Usually, I'm not a big fan of just like full on gray color scaling, but the way that they use blues for whenever you're using like your runic abilities, and then on top of that, you also get some gold here and there, and then especially once you get into like those later areas, like the masquerade party, you like start to get these more elaborate like golds and kind of these royalty pastels. I mean, it's really great. Now, obviously I'm the graphics guy, and my very first playthrough, I was like a gorilla. I just went and shot everything and stabbed everything. I'm sure, because you're such a high intellectual compared to I.
I am. I really am.
Yes. You, I want to hear your thoughts, especially coming from the first playthrough, what your experience with the combat was.
I will state this. I hate the gun in Dishonored 1. I think it's loud. It's not as effective. Granted, I didn't upgrade it ever, but I think the bow and arrow is just better. You have like more variety. You have the fire arrows. You have the sleep arrows. You have the normal arrows. And yes, the normal arrows do also suck, but the variety the crossbow gives you, I liked. I also liked how if you do chose combat, if you like go into the sword, then you have to like block. You have to dodge moves, and you can't just play like a different game, like another like hack and slash where you can stay and take hits. You have to be responsible with your health. You have to use health potions, but unless you're me and I just sneak past everything like the sneaky boy I am, I mean, I'm great at stealth, really. But
He scared me today. I went to the restroom and didn't see him crawl under the stall, and then he pounced on me.
yeah.
And now I have this big lump from where I hit my head on the toilet. So, yeah, thank you.
Did you actually hit your head on the toilet?
I did. I think I have a partial concussion, but,
That doesn't matter. Anyways, back to the main point, the combat. I never used a sword. Again, I was more of a stealth guy. When I tried to do the high chaos run, it was kind of challenging for me to not sneak because I was so used to it. But after a little bit, after using my sword, never the gun, but swaying, dodging, blocking. Sorry, no, it's my bad. I kind of did like the sword play. I'm not a big sword guy. Again, more of a stealth guy. I like the Hitman games where you have to do accidents to take out your targets. But the sword was pretty fun. How was your experiences with the combat?
So I do agree with you, and this was a big problem, and I think it's more of like the time when a lot of, especially character action games, were like moving to stealth, and having just a random firearm with your character, like Assassin's Creed had that. And then there's a couple other games that kind of use that same aspect. And yeah, you are completely correct on that. That the amount of times to where it's just like, why would I use this unless if I'm going for a high chaos run. It's like whatever. But I will say this: I loved the one-on-one fighting throughout the game. That was something that I felt was super strong. I'm trying to think of like, there's not really a game that I could think of that has that similar type of play style, except for like almost Sekiro, to where it's like to parry, you are just smashing the L1 button. Um, and I think that that's another thing is like the controls are really, really weird, but they felt really, really good. I'm not sure. Did you play on the PC?
I played on PC and Xbox 360.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you in a way you kind of know like that whole aspect of like the way that the buttons are laid out. It's like you have basically one side of your hand. Your left hand is mainly used for defensive stuff, and your right side is used for all of your offense. And it's really weird. Like obviously, I'm sure that there's probably going to be people out there that are kind of like, what does it mean? But that's the thing is that like on paper, it sounds super, weird and like what does this mean, but then you really get into like the practice of it and it's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I'm trying to think of like the sleep arrows and the entire crossbow is, I mean, you usually depending on how good of an aim you are during confrontations, you will more than likely never have to worry about not getting a headshot with the crossbow. Which I believe that that's the only way that you can get like a full-on execution is by a headshot
Yeah.
without like unloading the entire quiver. Um, but I'm trying to think of like what other. Oh, the runes. So you and I were kind of talking about the runes, and uh, I played BioShock before Dishonored, and BioShock has a I think it's called a tonic, but that might be BioShock Infinite. But it's an ability to where it's called Insect Swarm, where like you're basically able to just throw a bunch of insects and it just stuns an enemy for a while. It allows for you to riposte. If you want to get in a couple hits of damage here and there, you can, and you're able to like put it across the floor. The version of that in Dishonored 1 is the rats, which you're able to control to actually, I think you can actually full on like execute them.
You can eat the white rats, and they give you mana, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so there's like multiple uses for it aside from like in combat then.
Yeah, you can, if you have to combat, you can eat the white rats, because, of course, why would you not be able to? And then you can use the possessive spell on them.
And
so you can, like, go through the vents. And
yes, yeah. See, again, like monkey brain over here, I'm like, I'm just going to use it for offense, but, Mr. Big Head over here, yeah.
It's just easy.
Yeah.
But to kind of go off on one of your earlier points, the one-on-one combat, I liked how in the game, again, like Hitman, where one-on-one, you're fine. You get another person in there, or you get a whole crowd, you're screwed. You can't just, I'm immortal, me. You have to, like, blink away, use slow time, do anything you can to get away from large groups, and then go back to stealth mode.
Yeah, I forget what game it was to where it's like stealth is an option, but Uncharted. Uncharted is one of those games where it doesn't really matter. But with Hitman, a lot of it is like a domino effect. So it's like you like even if you alert one guard, then another guard will more than likely be alerted. But then depending on what you use to execute one of the other guards will then possibly alert another, and then it's just like over and over again. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like and especially since it is in first person, so you don't have the type of field of view as a game like Assassin's Creed or the Batman Arkham games. But yeah, what's your like go to like rune?
I just blink.
Blink?
I just blink. I sometimes use slow time and sometimes the rat storm with possessiveness, but usually it's I hop down, slash someone, blink up, and then just disappear. Although I do like, there's one rune where it's not like like you have to use it, but if you kill someone, then their body just goes away. And that's one I really love.
That's right, because that's a mechanic in the game to where if you leave a body there or like in the spot, then other guards will be like, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Another big one is I forgot what it's called, but it's like detective vision almost.
Oh, dark vision.
Yes, yeah. That one I do like.
Yeah.
Because whenever you are, doing stealth sections and you want to go for a ghost run or whatever, stealth in that game isn't about being seen, if that makes sense, but it's about understanding your surroundings and understanding how the NPCs react and move throughout a certain room and throughout the map. And so being able to master that is like super hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So I feel like there's other like tools throughout the game, but
Yeah. Well, there's guns. There is more.
yeah.
I know you can with Corvo's mask you can zoom in.
Yes.
That's very helpful when you crossbow. But one thing I also like about the combat is kind of how scarce it is, because you can go through a whole level without finding a crossbow a dart, or a bullet, and how you have to like collect coins. So when you go back to the hub world, you can get those weapon or those ammunition, but you get like 10 max, and how it kind of forces you to get creative with your kills, even if you go chaos or low chaos. You have to, like Hitman again, you have to get creative with the way you do stuff. You can't just shoot people for no reason. You have to be careful with your shots. You have to take aim. You can't just like use it as an AR and just spray and pray. You have to be intent. You have to focus on the level. And like if I listen to music while doing it, I can't play the game because I'm missing shots every time.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of almost Portal, kind of, to where it's like just the intentionality of like, okay, what is the step that I did before, and what is the step that I'm going to do after, and then after that, and just understanding like the fullness of like how I'm going to get through that level. Speaking of levels, I want to talk about the level design in this game, because it is one of the most unique feeling throughout the, like, obviously it's a Bethesda title, so you're going to have a lot of immersive sim stuff, so you come across NPCs and a bunch of other stuff, but you also get multiple checkpoints as well. I know that you were winding up to say something.
One thing about the NPCs I noticed that I don't think I've ever noticed the last time I played was sometimes they'll take like cigarette breaks, or if there's like a body of water, they'll pee in it. And it was one, funny, and two, like the amount of detail they put in this 2000 something game,
2012.
2012, like that was Lego Batman 2. The fact that those two games came out kind of early, like especially from now, and Dishonored just took the detail and ran with it with its like NPCs.
Yeah, again, before we started recording, at the very end of the game, so throughout the game, you meet Samuel, and he is your oarsman. So he's the guy that will help you drive the boat from level to level. And depending on what your, I don't know what you would call it, like your chaos level is, will depend on what dialogue he will trigger on that very last level. If your chaos level is really high, it will trigger a dialogue to where he's like saying how, he understands like why you're overly violent and stuff, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make for a good future. If Corvo is in, the kingdom. And so what happens is that he will shoot off a flare, instantly alerting anyone from the beginning of the level to pretty much the very end. And I love that so much because, again, like you wouldn't really think about doing that, but just the fact that they put in those little bits and pieces of like NPC behavior that like even like Fallout and Skyrim doesn't really get that detailed within that is perfect. I do want to hear your thoughts though on the story.
It is very like I don't want to say it's generic, but it is like stereotypical kinda, because I don't think this game is carried by its story. It's carried by its gameplay, in my opinion. But I do I love Corvo, right? Someday, hopefully, when I'm old enough, I can get like the tattoo that he has, the Outsider's mark, on my hand. I love the characters, but the story, I always love when games do like the good run, bad run. It has multiple reasons to play it. And so like Fallout New Vegas, how there's like multiple paths you can do, and I like that, but I'm not sure it left me wanting more, in a good way or a bad way. I wanted more out of the story. I'll pass on to you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I go back and forth because obviously we've both played the sequel, but within these reviews we try to have a little bit of a lack of hindsight as like if this is the only game that's out right now. And yeah, it is your very basic revenge plot almost, with a lot of conspiracy. A lot of the story, what I'll say is that a lot of the greatness of the story comes from the lore. I mean, Bethesda games and Arcane really hit it out of the park.
They did.
The story behind not just Dunwall, but all of the surrounding countries and Corvo himself and the Outsider. I mean, the Outsider is by far one of the coolest characters you will ever meet in a video game. I mean, the best way I can explain the Outsider is the mysterious man in Red Dead 1. Almost like just someone who kind of comes and goes. You don't really know his will, but he's willing to give you at least something. In this case, he will give you information about, where Emily is, or he gives you the mark of the Outsider. But I mean, like, besides like the outside fat of everything, the character work is really where it is. I mean, you have so many really great characters. You know, you have Havelock and his other dude.
Oh, was that Anton? No, what's his name? It was Havelock and
I want to say Pedro or Pedro or whatever.
Piero.
Yes, I think it's Piero.
Oh, him.
Like him and Havelock, like that whole thing of like we're going to team up and then eventually betray it, and then legitimately within the next 5 levels we're gonna disperse and fight each other. I mean that's kind of really cool, and it's also symbolism of like just because us as people may have a shared conviction for a greater tomorrow doesn't necessarily mean that it is correct within each other's eyes. Samuel, again, I love Samuel
Love
so
him.
much.
He's so chill.
Antoine is another really interesting character. Um,
One thing I will say is the betrayal did take me like a few playthroughs to understand. I did not understand it. It took me a little bit to like, oh, that's why they did it. It did confuse me.
yeah, and what I love about the betrayal in that game specifically is that it kind of makes sense in a way, like the way, like obviously in practice it's bad, but like the way that they approached that, what like the solvency of it, I guess, is really in a way it's very noble.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, like, and again, like, you want to talk about, how great the story is. It's that constant philosophical, ideating of like, well, is this truly a good thing? Is this good morally, but also is this good for society and for individuals and for groups and all of this stuff. One of my favorite characters in this game is Dowd. Dowd is
he,
how would you explain Dowd?
he's I he's a villain. He's a good villain, right?
Yeah.
It does come up with a sense of like, should I kill him? Because like, yes, he's trying to like hostile take over the country, and he killed my wife, and he took my daughter. But I can kind of barely see where he's coming from. That like we need a new regime, like a meaner regime. Is that like the whole like, story of his?
Yeah.
Is that like we need to take more, we need to be eviler, which could be true because I I can kind of see where he's coming from. But also, dude, what are you doing? You don't do that.
Yeah.
What, dude? We're what was the relationship before Dishonored 1 with Corvo and Dao? Do you know? Were they like
They were peers.
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing, because we're back to like the details. On the first mission, like before Outsider, when you're seeing Emily get kidnapped, and you're on the boat, one of the guards will like lock eyes with you, and then he'll just keep looking at you and turn around. And it's like, oh, see, they knew I was coming because
Yeah.
they were going to betray me because for some reason Corvo keeps getting betrayed. Is it like him, or is it just like the circumstances that he keeps getting betrayed? Maybe there's a reason that he keeps getting betrayed.
Well, I think because in Dishonored 1 it really never was made public that he was akin to Emily. And it wasn't really until Dishonored 2, which I think that in Dishonored 2, they never really talk about him being her father.
There's one dial. I forgot who it was from, but like, dude, we know about you and the queen.
Yeah.
Brother, we know.
Yeah.
We know.
There. So, I'm someone who believes in if you can create a world, right? Whether it's sci-fi, whether it's fantasy, that you should be able to write at least a book, not about like a separate story. And Dishonored has one of them is the Return of Dowd, and it basically is it's a record of what happens after Corvo Atano like spares him, and how he kind of becomes a vagabond, and then he eventually comes back and helps fight a underground gang. So
Because I didn't read this book.
yeah, it's very interesting. Not to spoil anything, but basically he is trying to find what made the outsider the outsider. Because you learn that the outsider really wasn't born the way that he is in Dishonored 1 and 2. So, not just for you, but for you guys as well, I highly suggest that you guys go and read that book. Because it also gives you a lot of context on like why Dowd was a part of the conspiracy, because you also find out that really the Whalers weren't per se a gang. Like they did immoral stuff because like they were pirates basically.
Yeah.
Like they were only trying to survive. But yeah, I mean, combat wise, it's unbelievable. Story wise, it's unbelievable.
One thing I do think is funny is whenever the outsider does appear, he's like, Corvo.
Yeah.
This chick's name? Granny Rags. She's pretty old and kind of crazy, but also kind of chill. Like, okay, thanks, dude. I just want the rune. Just give me the rat powers. I don't.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want to be here. Give me the rats.
His whole origin is really interesting, because you also kind of find out that like he like the world of Dishonored is just kind of a puppet show for him. So he's basically the friend who's like, hey, this person said this about you, and then you go, wait, really? Oh, I'm gonna jump him, and he just sits back and goes, ready for the show, and that's basically what the entirety of Dishonored's conflict comes down to, is just some otherworldly deity just wanting chaos. And
I thought the gimmick of the outsider was that he just wanted to give Corvo power just to see what would happen if he did.
right,
Like he
yeah.
just wanted to will he cause chaos? Will he not? Find out next time on Dishonored Ball Z.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really interesting character archetype, because I can't really think of like any character period
Who's just
that
like
kind of has that. I mean, maybe Dumbledore in a way.
I've never seen Harry Potter. That is Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's like the wizard. He's
Yeah.
like, that's the nose guy. He has like no nose.
No, that's Voldemort.
There's multiple Voldies. Voldemorts?
No, I said Dumbledore.
Oh, you said Dumbledore. Oh, there's okay.
Yeah.
And you said that you had gorilla brain. Look at me over here.
But yeah, that's really all I can really think of, Dishonored wise. Is there anything you want to cover?
I can't think of anything. I mean, again, I want to get the hand tattoo. I think Corvo is really good, well written, and he just has aura. I think the mask, like when you first look at it, dude, it's so cool. He's so cool. He's so cool. Mount Rushmore of coolest video game protagonists. I think Corvo's up there.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Corvo, Ezio, Who else would be cool?
Commander Shepard.
Commander Shepard. Okay.
Actually, this could be a video idea.
It could be.
Well, like, have you, Brady, and I all just kind of create our own Mount Rushmore and then just debate over it, and then kind of do what we did for the tier list. Yeah, I'm trying to think what Dante, like Dante from Devil May Cry, is another like cool character.
He does like the dance.
Yes,
with
yeah.
The hat. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, that's. I mean,
That's the runes. Because there's dark vision. I also like just the upgrades.
mhm.
Like in the killing one where no one can see. There's one where I think you can jump higher. Very
Yes.
useful for me. I also want to point out how there's like on the last level, especially, it points out that there's 2 entrances to the big room, but there's like multiple secret ones. I think I found like 2 secret ones, and that I like it when like you don't show me a secret entrance and I can just do it, whack this guy, shoot this guy with a sleep arrow, climb into a sewer, and then peace, see you, dowd.
Yeah.
I'm taking my daughter.
I always feel stupid whenever like oh, okay, I finally finished this mission. I'm like, I'm gonna go see what like a walkthrough did, and it's like, oh, if you just turn left at the beginning of the level and just continue down, you don't have to worry about enemies. They'll just take you straight to the end, and you're like, I spent an hour on trying to figure out what the stealthing and all of the character or all of the enemies what do you
Like
call it? Like,
paths.
pathings
Paths
are,
and-
and so.
You're just over here, just like, okay, so he walks over there, and oh, I'm caught.
Yeah.
Ah, God,
It's like, no. It's just-
I did not realize that the chaos meter, like, on a certain, like, on the last mission, right? If you did high chaos throughout the whole game, but you did low chaos on the last mission, it still says high. I thought it'd be like ranking it on the mission only, but it's like the whole game for each mission, which I did not know, and also kind of feel stupid for.
That's what Infamous kind of did. So, towards the end of every game, you will, like, come across a certain, like, dialogue choice, and depending on which one you pick, it will instantly put you to the highest, like, good level and the highest bad level. So, I wonder if it's, because I don't really know if there's particular, maybe like the second to last level, it like locks, maybe. I'm trying to think.
In Infamous?
No, in Dishonored.
Okay, what was the second to last level? That
I-
was because I know what you're talking about, where it kind of locks, but I mean, then again, I always go low honor because I'm smart and I know how to play the game. You know, I just blink. That's all I do is blink in dark vision.
Like, I always have debated with people on whether the idea of doing like ghost pacifist runs of Dishonored to where it's just like blinking to one like high ground and just constantly going and going until you get to the end of the level is actually truly like playing the game. But I mean to each his own.
I think I've used, the whirlwind rune?
Yeah.
I've used that twice. And that was the last time I played it in the last level. I never used it. I think I maxed out like all of the runes on that game, on the first game. Never used whirlwind. Because it's just like, why would I? Just spawn rats. You, like, possess one, go into a vent, sneak into a place, teleport up, ///, and then exit.
So the second to last mission is the Loyalist, which is where Corvo returns to the hub area, or like the hub area, which I think it's called like the Hound's Pub or something.
Hound's Pit Pub. Pit
Yeah,
Pub?
yeah, Pit Pub. Yeah, yeah.
Pit Pub.
All right, but yeah,
I mean, do you have anything else to add on?
I don't really. I think I pretty much covered. Again, it's one of those things where it's hard because both of us have hindsight over like the next game, and like the next game, I think gameplay wise and story wise kind of offers a tad bit more.
Yeah.
But
I will say that I think it's funny how when you finish the first one, it says Corvo dies, and then there's a second one where he's not dead. It's like, okay, thank you, Arcane. We see you. All right. Well.
I totally forgot about that.
He just dies, and then nope, he's back. Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it creates probably, in my opinion, one of the best sequels in the video game history. I mean, like, which, if Brady ever gets paralyzed by something, perhaps a Ford,
Uh-oh.
you know,
Tuberculosis and a Ford parallel. Okay.
yeah, you know. How could you give someone tuberculosis with that? Anyways,
You just give
but-
it to the truck and then run him over with the truck.
yeah.
Yeah. Because in Red Dead, doesn't like the dude spit on him and that's how he gets TB? He's like, what in the goddamn Dutch? He spat on me.
You just like drink like distilled tuberculosis juice, just enough to where it's like you just spit at him. Anyways,
Now that we're speaking about Arthur Morgan, who do you think would win in a fight? Arthur Morgan or Corvo Otano? I say Corvo.
I don't know because Arthur has Deadeye.
I mean, I feel like that's just a gameplay feature. Like, is Deadeye like canon in this? Like, it's an actual thing, or is it just a gameplay feature? Because I always thought it was a gameplay feature, not actually like canonically in the world of.
Well, I think Deadeye is just basically like a visual slowdown. So it's like for instance, like in Flash movies and stuff, to where it's like you see him like slow down, but like in real time he's actually still moving fast. So I think that he just has like really fast like draw times. So it depends on whether his draw times are fast enough to
Take out
Corvo before he like blinks away or something.
I mean, just rats him and then rock. I like to think that there's like some timeline where he like keeps ratting people and just starts like sprinting away, just never blinking.
Yeah.
I also will say that Corvo Otano, one cool arse name.
Yes, yeah, that is, it reminds me of like a Star Wars name.
Yeah. It's
Like
you have Emily, and then you have like Jessica, and then Corvo Otano. It's like, yeah.
or Dowd. Dowd is like a that's like German, I
German,
think.
yeah.
Very like Germanic. But yeah. I will say this to kind of end this off. The Red Dead 2 was actually retconned from Dishonored, and actually came out that Corvo accidentally ratted Arthur, and the rat accidentally had tuberculosis. So anyways, guys, see ya.
And
I am Nick Ryan.
That explains Micah.
Exactly.
It explains Micah. I'm Canton Roberts.
And we will talk to you next week. Deuces.
Ooses.
Peace.